Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. It is officially June 21st, a little past midnight, Central Time, my time. If you're watching and you're tuning in, you have not subscribed yet, I implore you, hit that red subscribe button. It is free. It's an investment on your part. When I hit 1,000, my show will morph into a gem that you will love. I guarantee you that. I'll get the mic, get the studio equipment, sound bites, a desktop just for this, for film and graphics and all that good stuff. And I will have a call-in line, just like Law Nation does. So especially during football season, y'all can call in, agree with me, disagree with me, or we can just agree to disagree. And y'all can vent and be heard. The call-in line is the best thing Law ever did. And on this show, when I hit 1,000 subscribers and start doing live shows on a regular, I will have a call-in line. Hit that red subscribe button. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. The show is still new and growing. I'm at like 332 right now. My goal is to get to 1,000 by week 1, September 10th this year when we play the Giants. I can't not do it without y'all's help, guys. We are a family, Cowboy Nation, brothers and sisters. We all blue, bleed, and silver. So this seems to work for Mike Fisher. On the count of 3, guys, if you haven't subbed yet, on the count of 3, if you could hit that red subscribe button, guys. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Hit it. If you did, you're a real one, and I love you for it. On the count of 3, just simply click that like button. 1, 2, 3. Everybody click it. If you did it, you're a real one, and I love you for it. I guarantee you it's an investment on your part, because when this channel really morphs into what it's going to be, you're going to love it. It's just me and my galaxy right now. My 30 years of Cowboys experience, playing my entire youth. And you know, Law was my inspiration to doing this, and my channel will be as good as Law's, but it takes time. I'm learning that it takes time. So right now, mini camp has ended, and training camp will start late July. So we're kind of like in the dead spot of the off season. Players going home, players going on vacation. Getting their last real break before it's time to start putting in that work. So the title, I figured this is, should Jerry and or Stephen, Will McClay, should they make another big move or two, make another big splash or two, or just stay put and think, we're as good as is. There's some big names out there right now. The biggest one, as we all know, Dalvin Cook. A lot of mixed emotions about him. We all know that we're a better team with him than without him. The Cowboys, I know, did that study 10 years ago. A very extensive study that running backs start to decline at the age of 28 years old and at a rapid pace. That's the majority of running backs. You got your exceptions like AP or Frank Gore, Emmitt Smith. You have your exceptions, but the majority of running backs. And that led to the decision of not re-signing DeMarco Murray in 2015, even though DeMarco Murray was only going to be 27 years old in 2015. He would have been 28 in 2016, but they figured that pounding that he took in 2014, all them carries he had, 1,800 yards, that the following season he wouldn't be the same player, especially on a big contract. And it proved to be right. He went to Philadelphia, didn't really do much. Didn't do much after the 2014 season. Holds a single-season rushing record for us, 1,800 and some odd yards. Beat, Emmitt's record, but and Cook will turn 28 this August, so before the season starts, he'll be 28. That's a factor of why Elliott is gone, or why have they not re-signed him yet, because he will be 28 here in July. Hence to their study on running backs. Dalvin Cook says, I want the value. I want somebody who's going to value Dalvin Cook. I want somebody who wants me there and give me the ball. I just want to go into the right situation and help somebody win one Super Bowl. Like you said, the money gonna come. You play good ball and they'll pay you. I just want to go somewhere where it feels like home, help somebody, and just go out and be me. Just turn loose and look for a home. That's it. Sounds all fine and dandy, but the running back market has been tainted for the two guys, Todd Gurley and Ezekiel Elliott. Once Todd Gurley got his big bag, the following season he had a bum knee for the rest of his career. He was done. Rams regretted that contract right after the ink dried on the paper. And then Elliott. Now, Elliott's holdout in 2019, he played well that season. He had 1,350 yards. I mean, it wasn't like he came out and just completely flopped. Then the following season, the entire offensive line was injured. Lyle Collins, who was coming off the best season of his career, didn't even play a snap. Ty Smith out for the season. October 9th was, when he chose to get neck surgery. Even Zach Martin, all reliable, the guy who never misses a game, was out for the season. Came back for Thanksgiving for one drive, playing right tackle, and that was it, was out. So only Tyler Biadasz, who was a rookie at the time, and Connor Williams, left guard, were the only two linemen that started the whole season, the actual starting linemen. So 2020, you can't really gauge, Elliott on. And then 2021, second half of the season, he played with injury, and then last season was what it was. He kind of got worn down towards the end of the year. That's why I think a three-headed monster in the backfield opposed to a tag team, Thunder and Lightning. Thunder and Lightning was good, but Zeke can't handle 230 carries no more and still be effective at the end of the season. So if you have a Deuce Vaughn in the backfield to take 75, 80 of those carries away from Elliott, that would probably keep him fresh in December and going into the playoffs. Possibly take 100 of those carries away, depending on, how well he runs the ball. Now we have $24 million in cap space. Dalvin Cook out there, he's going to turn 28, but he's still he's a good back. Him and Tony Pollard being your 1-2 punch in the backfield would scare teams, especially what you got on the outside. His last 4 seasons, he hadn't had under 1,100 yards. In 2019, 250 carries, 1135 on the ground, 4.5 average, 13 tubs. 2020, 312 carries, 1557s. He had over 1,500 yards that year, 5.1 average, 16 tubs. 21, 249 carries, 1,159 yards, 4.7 average, 6 tubs. And in last season, got the ball 264 times on the ground. Ran for 1173, 4.4 average, which is not bad. It's not bad. 8 tubs. That's not including his receiving yards. Now, you take that and you look at Elliott, 2019, 301 carries, 1357, 4.5, 12 tubs. 2020, the injury year, 244 carries, 979 on the ground, 4 yards a carry, 6 tubs. 2021, 251 totes. No, actually 237. His carries went down and down. 237 carries, 1,002 yards, 4.2 average, 10 tubs. And last season, we all know, 230 carries, 876 yards, a 3.8 average, 12 tubs. He had a 3.8 yard average because of the last 4 regular season games. After Steele went down, the running game just was not the same. And if Elliott has a hole, he can run through it. But if he's running into a brick wall, he doesn't have that breakaway speed to be able to bounce out, cut back, do what Tony Pollard does. Tony Pollard has not had that wear down that Zeke has had. Elliott, 16, 17, 18, 19, 4 straight seasons had over 300 carries. And in 2018, on top of 300 carries, had 77 receptions, almost 400 touches that year. Jamal Anderson in '98 had 400 carries when he had like 1,800 yards, and that was it for his career. Similar to DeMarco Murray, who just about had 400 totes in 2014. Zeke is still very serviceable, but if we're going to sign one of these backs, it'll be in the preseason. Because we got some people on the roster that, want to show what they got. Rojo, he's only 25. Can you believe that? You would think he's older, but he's only played 4 seasons. The other name that people keep bringing up, Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny. Well, in that case, just sign him in December and suit him up in January. In 2019, with Jacksonville, 265 carries, 1152, 4.3 and 3 tubs. The Super Bowl year with Tampa, 96 carries, 367, under 4 yards a carry, 6 tubs. But in the playoffs, played great. 180 carries, 812 yards, 4.5 yard average, 8 tubs. And last season, he has 189 carries, right? 668 yards, 3.5 yard average, 3 touchdowns. 668 yards. 127 of those came week 1 against us. So you take that, that's about 540 yards after week 1. So the last 16 games of the season, he had 540 yards on the ground. Leonard Fournette. I know in his 9 playoff games, he has 10 touchdowns. He might have been playoff Lenny in 2020, 2021, but I think he's burnt toast. Burnt toast. I mean, week 1 he looked real good against us, but after that, all you can muster is 540 yards in 17 games. I know the offensive line wasn't nothing to write home about, but you did have Tristan Wirfs, Ryan Jensen. You did have some decent guys in front of you. It's not like they were all rookies. And 12 as your quarterback with Godwin, Evans, and all them guys. So Malik Davis, that's why I'm excited to see what he's going to do in training camp. Undrafted free agent we brought in last season. Winds up being running back number 3. He didn't really get many opportunities. He had 38 carries for the season, 161 yards, 4.2 yards on the ground, had a touchdown. His longest run was 18 yards. Against San Francisco, they didn't give him the ball, not once. Not one rushing attempt. I do not understand why. After Pollard went down, right before the first half, the whole second half, every carry went to Elliott. Who was a bit worn down at that point in the season. Why not give it to the fresh legs, the rookie? I bet you he was foaming at the at the mouth to get his number called. But it didn't happen. We have Jason Peters still out there in the free agency list. He's 41 years old now. He was 40 last year. He was very serviceable for us. McGovern, went out. He come in, plug it in real well. Left tackle, for some reason he rotated with Tyler Smith, a few games. Played good, in other words. I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on him, bringing him in just for depth. I mean, if we're not going to go really sign a Dalton Reisner or Andrew Norwell, and we're going to go with the starting 5 that we mentioned in the latter videos, that everybody knows the starting 5 that we want to have. They Jason Peters, with his age, was signed for pretty cheap. What might get one more ring? He got one in 2017. He'd be great depth on the left side. He could step in at left tackle or left guard, either one, and play decent, play pretty. You could trust him, in other words. We have $24 million in cap space, and you wouldn't be selling the farm if you signed Dalvin Cook. He wants $10 million a year. Why don't you bring him in for a workout? Bring his agent in and tell him we'll give you $7 million right now. 1 year deal, $7 million. Show the NFL what you can do. You'll get 20 carries a game. TP will get his 15. 7.5. 1 year deal. Nobody will probably offer you that much, especially not 10 or more than that. Or offer him just 7 flat. Bring in Dalvin Cook, just offer him 7 flat. $7 million. Right now. Sign on the dot, guaranteed, fully guaranteed. 1 year. We have $24 million in space. And when Dak's extension happens, and it will happen, whether we like it or not, you'll wake up one morning and you'll hear his contract's been extended, redone. We'll have $44 million in cap space. So the signing of Cook wouldn't be a problem at all. And that would make our backfield completely complete, except having a power back with pass protection. Leonard Fournette can pass protect really well, so can Elliott. Elliott is the best in the league at doing that. Would Elliott sign for $3 million? I don't know. I don't see. He wants like $7 million right now. Ezekiel Elliott has made the second most money than any running back in NFL history. He has made his money, so I don't see why that would be the most important thing to him. Seems like the most important thing to him would be getting that hardware, getting these, getting 3 like Emmett has. It seems like he wouldn't mind taking the vet minimum, going from $15 million to $500,000, because he don't need the money. And everybody says that he's been really smart with his money. He hasn't blown it and been stupid with it, so he is set for life. It should be about the love of the game and wanting that championship and maybe getting a dynasty, because this team is young. The average age of this team was, 25.7 years old last season? And we have a team that can win this year. And not just this year, especially if we draft, keep up this amazing drafting that we've been doing. Not only this year, but next year and the year after that, we'll be right in the mix too. Because these young guys that we got will just be getting better. And we yet to see what Monty Smith has to offer. Valemi Fehoko Jr. has to offer. Eric Scott Jr. has to offer. Deuce Vaughn. Asim Richards. Luke Shoemaker, who on 105.3 The Fan, RJ seems to think that Schoonmaker, whatever, is the number 1 tight end, is a plug-and-play starter that in Michigan they didn't have him go out for a whole lot of passes, but he can catch a ball as well as Ferguson, block better than any of the tight ends that we have. He is 6'7", like 250, 260 pounds. He does have the size. He's like that Mike Gesicki, Mark Andrews type, size tight end. He seems to think that he's by far the best tight end we have already. Better than Jake Ferguson. I think Jake Ferguson is going to have a Travis Kelce, type career. I mean, he looks, he just looks very good and has a nose for the end zone. And as does Elliott. 12 touchdowns last season. He has a nose for the end zone. I like Elliott. I like Cook too. And if Jerry is going to sit there and tell us that we wouldn't believe the check that he'd write for one more Super Bowl, that the amount would be obscene, and we have this cap space to do it, and especially this offseason when number 4's contract is extended and we have more available, why not just do it? Why not? The Eagles did it last year. They just went for the gusto. Right up until a few weeks before the season started, they traded for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I mean, they weren't stopping at nothing. And we wouldn't be selling the farm. It's not like we signed Dalvin Cook, signed Zeke back so we can have our power back our super speed back and just a good primary back in the backfield, it's not like, we do that, have a great season, maybe make it to Vegas, maybe win it, and then be like the Rams were last year. And this all season, trading away a lot of their big pieces because they're in cap hell. We're not, and we wouldn't be if we were to do this. Sign Cook, sign Elliott, and sign a veteran offensive lineman for depth, whether it be Peters, Reisner, Andrew Norwell, Trey Turner, someone like that. I'd say go for the gusto. Why not, Jerry? You're not getting any younger, and you want to hoist that trophy up one more time before you die, and we're all ready too. I mean, every Cowboy fan would trade a Super Bowl season even if it meant that we were going to be bad, just bad, 1-16 for the next 5 seasons. We would trade that for one Super Bowl season this year, and next 5 seasons be horrible. Every Cowboy fan would take that deal after 28 years of looking on. But that's not the case. We can still do this, and we'll be contenders for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons. Easy. With all the talent that we have in the age that they are. I've got 3 trade scenarios. They're dream scenarios. They'll never happen. If one of these happens, call me Nostradamus. But I think they're plausible. My first trade idea, I mean, this is right now the deadest part of the all season. So you try to, come up with things to talk about, entertain, Dorrance Armstrong, he's a $7.5 million cap hit. So if you cut him, you'd save 7.5. If you trade him, you'd save 7.5. His contract's that simple. And he's getting better. I mean, the first half of last season had 8 sacks, a blocked punt, a blocked field goal. Latter half of the season, not so much, only a half a sack. Maybe he had an injury we didn't know about, I don't know, but he is getting better. Saquon Barkley is not signing the franchise tag that they're giving him, so go to the Giants and offer him Dorrance Armstrong, first-round pick, and Malik Davis for Saquon. If they're having trouble with him and he won't sign the deal, Malik Davis might be a gem that, they get a first-round pick next season and Dorrance Armstrong to add to that defensive line, to the defense that's getting better, that has 2 good starting corners now and a good line. And he would solidify that at defensive end, playing opposite Kevin Thibodeau. Number 2, offer up Michael Gallup, who should be healthy now, Peyton Hendershot, and a 3rd-round pick for Mark Andrews. Call it Baltimorean. Mark Andrews is only 27 years old. And his contract after this season, you can get out of it. So if Mark Andrews, who's a balling-ass tight end, you give away Hendershot, get Andrews, so you still have 4 tight ends. Our receiver 3 would be gone. But right now, Tolbert and Fehoko are looking pretty good in, minicamp OTAs. One of the receivers should be able to step up and be a decent number 3. And if worse comes to worse, you just call T.Y. to come in, play number 4 again for one more year. Mark Andrews would be a hell of a receiving tight end for Dak. A hell of a receiving tight end. And then my third one would be get on the phone with Indianapolis, offer him Deron Bland, a first-round pick, and Tyron Smith for Quentin Nelson. Boy, wouldn't that break the internet? Especially if they said, okay, Quentin Nelson, man, he's like, 26, 27, the best left guard in the league. We would have the best. He's the second best guard in the league. Zach Martin's number 1. So we have the 2 best guards in the league on our line. Tyler at left tackle, Terrence at right, and B-Dash in the middle. That offensive line would move bodies. Hell, we wouldn't have to worry about signing Brandon Dalvin Cook or anybody. We could probably just go with Malik Davis and bring in Hunter Lupiki, make him our power back, Tony Pollard the primary, and a great offensive line, any running back can look good. I think those three trades would be pretty cool. One of those got pulled off. That's not going to happen, though. DeAndre Hopkins, he just visited Tennessee and the Patriots last week. But he's going to wait and see what happens. He said he wanted to be a Cowboy. He's was advocating to come here, but then he saw we traded for Brandon Cooks, and then all of a sudden he didn't want to be a Cowboy. Kind of like getting dumped. I feel him, though. As long as you don't go to Philly or the Giants or Washington, I'm fine with that. As long as you don't go to San Francisco, go to the AFC. Go sign with New England or Tennessee. Actually, no, don't don't sign with New England. We played in Week 4. Go sign with Tennessee. Yeah. Do that and win the NFC South. The AFC South. Compete with Jacksonville. I really don't think that there was much more to hit on. I don't think the Cowboys, Jerry and company, are going to make any more splash moves unless we were to have an injury. But I've got a good feeling about Malik Davis. I think Malik Davis could make some waves this year. Could be a very good running back number 2 behind Pollard. And him or Deuce Vaughn, one of the two, needs to learn how to pass block, at least decently. It ain't got to be as good as Zeke because it's hard to find. It ain't got to be as good as Emmett. Emmett was very good at pass blocking too. But be good enough. I mean, Malik Davis is 5'10", 205 pounds. You're 200 pounds. Learn to get low, get your pad level low, and hit a linebacker, hit a safety, hit a defensive end or somebody coming in on a stunt. Have one of those two guys, or both of them, do a lot of practice drills on protecting Dak. I think Malik Davis could be one of our UDFA gems, like we've had many of. The latest one, Terrence Steele. You go the last 20 years, we've had a good number of them. I think Malik Davis this season could be running back number 2. I would love to sign Dalvin Cook and Zeke. Why not? We have the money. Let's go all the way, but I don't think it's going to happen unless there's an injury in training camp. So really, we're all just biding time until training camp happens and preseason. And we see what happens in preseason games, the 3 that we have, and during training camp practices. And cross your fingers, we come out of training camp with no injuries, and we go into the season intact. Nobody on the injured list, nobody, nothing like that. But we shall see. We shall see. Everybody keeps saying the Ezekiel Elliott reunion seems unlikely, but I think training camp, after a couple weeks, nobody signs him, that he'd be willing to come back here. And I think Jerry would be willing to give him $3 million because he would complete the backfield so much. Elliott is not washed. The people that say Elliott's done and say I'm tired of that fat ass, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just an average fan. Ezekiel Elliott has a lot to give to this team this season, and he would complete the backfield with Pollard and Deuce Vaughn. That would be an exciting 3-headed monster back there. It really would. And if we don't bring in an outside offensive lineman, we got Let's Go, Akeem Richards, Aduga. We got some guys that can show their face here in training camp. That's where it's at. If our offensive line is stout, stays healthy, and we can run the ball and lean on the other team, even on good defensive lines like San Fran's and Philly's. I mean, hell, Dak put up 40 against Philly. And that defense is better than the defense they're going to have this season. That was with Hargrave, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, T.J. Edwards, Marcus Epps, you know what I mean? NFL's leading tackler, best defensive tackle in free agency, one of the best free safeties out there, who are no longer there. So, yeah, offensive line and running back is really going to be where it's at. Our defense is set. I would love to bring on Cook, but I don't think they'll do it. I'd love to bring on Zeke. I even though people say it's unlikely, I've got a feeling that he loves this team. All his friends are here. Dak is his BFF, just like Witten was to Romo. Got a feeling that they work something out and incentivize it too. Say your salary's $1 million. Here's your incentives, Elliott. If you're still a baller, meet these incentives and you'll get paid. We'll see. Keep God first and foremost, guys. He comes before everything, even this. Seek Him and His righteousness, and everything else that you need in your life will fall into place. You seek Him, you follow Him, and all the things will come to you. I'm a living testimony of that. I've been on mountaintops, valleys, been going through a valley last year and a half, and the light's at the end of the tunnel, and I'm about to get back on that mountaintop, learning what I've needed to learn from the valley. If you have any questions about Christ or Christianity, don't hesitate to let me know or ask me. Not making this a religious program, but it's part of my duty as a Christian to let you know that. Cowboys Nation, have a good rest of the week. Hopefully we have some activity during this dead time. Not bad activity, but good activity. Maybe trade, signing, something like that. We'll see. Guys, please subscribe. Every subscriber counts. Get me to 1,000 by week 1. I'm telling you, my show will morph into something freaking awesome. You will be glad if you hit that red subscribe button. I promise you that. Every show that I give you and do, I put time into. I just don't half-ass anything. Especially when I get to 1,000 and start doing live shows, and that'll be able to monetize the channel. And every dollar I get, I'll put into it. Studio, making a nice studio with a desktop, with the graphics and film and everything, where I can actually break down things and show them to you instead of just saying it out loud. Have all that and the call-in line, which I'm gonna get that sooner before the 1,000 subscriber mark. All that to match the 30 years of watching this team, playing the game my entire youth. I know this team and this game like the back of my hand. I give y'all great content, and I will give y'all a great show, but I cannot get there without y'all guys. Cowboys Nation, we bleed blue and silver together, guys. Show a brother some love, and I will make Law Nation proud when he sees what my show will become in the years to come. On the count of 3, guys, hit that subscribe button if y'all have not. 1, 2, 3. Everybody hit it now. Boom. If you did it, you're a real one, and I love you for it. On 3, we'll hit that like button. 1, 2, 3. Boom. If you did it, you're a real one, and I love you for it too. Now, tomorrow is Wednesday. I'm hoping to go to Splash Town tomorrow with my 2 kids and wife and enjoy the water park. Let all the worries just float away in the water. And until then, guys, I will catch you on the flip side. Hopefully, the next video will be about us making a trade no one saw coming, like the Gilmore trade, or signing free agent that we've been wanting. We'll see, guys. But until then, y'all stay cool, calm, safe, and I'll catch you on the flip side, guys. Charles and Chargers out.